you, Bobby. It seemed like a game that was kind of frustrating by the end of it. Just why do you think you guys weren't able to find that goal?
Yeah, we didn't put the ball in the right spot around the goal. It's a tough question to answer because the opportunities were there, chances were there, clear chances were there, and yeah, most days they go in. On the days they don't, this could be the outcome. So, it's what I told the guys. I thought although in the first half we weren't our best, we created 3 very good opportunities. We've given up pretty uncharacteristic goal there, but in the second half we've reacted well. And it's not just chances, it's clear chances to goal from quality players in and around the box, and it wasn't there. And when it's not there, that's the result. And then it's the path to success isn't always linear. So we're obviously used to doing it one way. Now you do it a little bit differently, right? And that's all it is. It's one game, and we obviously wanted to work out differently. Can't blame the guys for their effort, especially in that second half.
How confident are you now in your team's ability to respond next week at home against Ottawa?
Yeah, you're always confident in your team. There's a reason this team this year has been the top team in this league. There's a reason, this club has been the top club in the CPL for the past 6 years. So you've got to have that confidence, but nothing is guaranteed, right? The story just doesn't rewrite itself. You have to write it. So it's what you put into it, the effort you put into it, and sometimes it's not going to work out the way you want. That's football, that's sports. If you're involved in this, there's 3 outcomes, or today there's 2, because there is no tie in a game like today. So you have to be prepared for all of it on any given day, and then you keep on moving forward.
Thanks, Bobby.
Hey, Coach Bobby, for some reason we're kind of low on strikers, and is there any reason why you stuck with Nana the whole way and probably tried to bring Hamilton before and probably try to mix it up? Because we saw Nana stuck up there waiting for the ball to come to him, probably the same way Hamilton started at the beginning, and then probably you change the way he plays and bring Hamilton a little bit back and try to make some combinations and going forward. We saw Nana probably the whole game stuck up there, waiting for the guys to pass the ball, and all the efforts that the team was making, it wasn't rely on his feet. One little mistake and all the effort that you guys make, it went to nothing. Is there any reason why you stuck with Nana? I know you are low on strikers, but is any...
Well, we have strikers, but if the question is the ball wasn't getting to his feet for 6 years, the ball doesn't get to the feet of our striker much often. So that's Forge. He played a role today to find spacing behind the opponent. The opponent played in a lower block today, which limited some of that space. And obviously, after they've scored the goal, they dropped even further. So that limits those areas. Then you have to get around the outsides, because when you're playing against an ultra low block, and they did a good job with it. You need to be patient. I thought we were patient enough to create. Yeah, and in the first half, he also has 2 very good chances. One where he's taking a shot and it's being cleared as it's going into the far corner. Another one where maybe if he goes with his head instead of with his feet, we've got a goal. But those are the fine margins that you have to play with. And then you look to move things around. We moved Benny into the middle, Nana outside, just because their skill sets allow for something a little bit different, and then adding Jordan to play with 2 strikers, so we can have a bigger presence in the box a little bit later. That allowed us to put more pressure on the opponent, a little bit more pressure on their center backs. But again, there you're looking for something very perfect when you're trying to beat 10 and many times 11 players. But that's the reality of the game. That's what you have to do, and we created those opportunities, and it's not easy to do it. There's 4 excellent opportunities in the second half where you're having to break down the whole team. That's not an easy thing to do in football. And if you go back and look at some of these chances, you say to yourself, how haven't we put one in the back of the net?
It's a little frustrating for you to make sure the team doesn't score, especially having the whole 90 minutes. I know that you all the time have tricks, and I know probably after you go to have a good sleep, you're going to come up with a magic formula and probably beat Ottawa and probably beat Cavalry at home, and probably you're going to surprise us again with another championship. Is that what you want? Is that what we believe? And I know probably you're gonna do it.
Yeah, of course we believe it, but one thing's for sure, I'm not a magician. We've got very good players. And on most days, and most days is the majority to 90% of the time, those chances that we had today go in the back of the net. But nothing is guaranteed. So there's a 10% chance it's not going to happen. Today it didn't happen. And that's the fine margin.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you about the goal itself, because obviously that was the difference maker in this match. From your perspective, how did it feel knowing that's the type of goal that Forge ends up conceding, and as a result losing this match?
It's a goal. A goal is a goal. We can look back at it and say it wasn't the best way to concede. But you start the game in preparation, knowing that you could go up, you could go down in the game, and how you respond. So you can dwell on how you were scored on in the 27th minute and then lose time, or you can react as a team and try and get yourself back into the game. And I think that's what we did. We just didn't have that final product to do that. It's not a goal that I think overall we're gonna be happy with. But if you play this game long enough and you're involved in this game long enough, you're going to see everything, that's for sure. So you're going to see the best, the worst, and everything in between. And if you're prepared for that, then you go to sleep easy and you wake up the next day and you prepare for what's next. That's the beauty of sports.
Well, certainly what's next is now, of course, coming back here next Saturday to face Ottawa. I know I'd asked you about 2 weeks ago about how they've dominated, at least they dominated head-to-head this season. But obviously with this result, knowing that now obviously you know what you need to do, is I know Forge doesn't need motivation. I know you've spoken about it, but you hold an extra bit of motivation now that Cavalry's beating you guys at your home patch. You go back to reach that final to go beat Ottawa, who's dominated you this season, and then in the final beat the team who's denied you not just a direct spot but also hosting.
How many times has Cavalry beaten Forge before today in a playoff match?
0.
So what does it mean? Nothing. So what's happened in the past means nothing, right? Because it's a game, right? And that story goes away quickly, or it goes on for another year. So it's not something we're concerned about. If that was the case, then Cavalry would come out here and they'd say, this game is over, because it's never happened. And again, when you're involved in this long enough, everything occurs. Don't really care what we've done against Ottawa in the past. I don't think Ottawa cares. Because this is 90 minutes of football next week to give you a chance to play another game.
As it were, you guys obviously don't get the 2-week break that the hosts Cavalry do now, but you guys do get to keep that momentum going into next week with the extra game. Just curious on how you and the club are prepared to set out for the next week or so, leading into the second versus third game hosting Ottawa.
Yeah, obviously as a staff you have 2 plans in place. You plan up to this date and then you have 2 plans after that. So obviously the plan that makes us or has us playing on Saturday goes into effect now with certain players who need to rest, certain players that need to train, and we just get back into our routine of what we usually do every week and prepare for the next one. There's enough body of work on Ottawa and Forge and every team in this league for us to look at things, and we'll prepare to the fullest and get ready for that game on Saturday.
And just maybe one on Ali as well. Had a very important clearance off the line early in the first half. To head it back off the line when I believe it's the Fraser-Arid corner delivery that came off with Dan Klomp. Obviously, the result in the end doesn't go the way you guys wanted, but what does that moment signify for you guys in terms of where you guys were trying to get to at that point in the match in terms of trying to find the opener?
Yeah, well, obviously it's when you've gone down in a match and you make sure that another one's not going in the back of the net. It keeps you moving, right? Because every little thing plays a big role in what we do. The same thing is if we take Ali for instance, and from the penalty spot doesn't put it into Carducci and puts it into the corner net. That changes a lot too. So there's a lot of moments in the game where things go one way, things go the other way. All around, I think the effort was there. The second half was good from the fact that you really had to break a low block, and rightfully so. Like I said, they did that, and it wasn't a situation where we weren't able to create or get into dangerous spots, because it is a difficult thing to do. So you know, that's something we take, and yeah, you want that extra goal, and of course, when you can keep the ball out of your net one more time, it helps you to keep moving forward and try and get back in the game from a more reasonable position.
Appreciate it.
Okay, last question there.
Bobby, during this week, are you gonna probably try to implement those short passes or 3 to 4 passes and direct shots? Because before, I remember we used to do that. Now we make too many passes, we rely on Balibanga, we rely on Nana, and sometimes we lose all the great chances. We are trying to probably play like a Barcelona a little bit, but we want 3-4 passes direct shots, 3-4 passes direct shots, because we know Carducci is not too good holding the ball. And Carducci was for some reason like reading a newspaper today.
You had 10 players in front of the box that close all the space. So you can make 300 passes. You can make 3 passes, but when you play against a low block, it's a lot different. You know, when the game is a little bit more open, you see different things. When the game gets closed on one side of the field, because we've done this to perfection too in the past, up in a score and close things off and try and make things predictable and limit high quality chances. Like I said, I think we created high quality chances in those scenarios still. So from that, we're happy. And yeah, if one of them had gone in, it'd be a little bit different, but it didn't. So that's that.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Hamilton! Hamilton!